Alright, so I had a question. I just got back from the Elvis movie, great movie. I was reading the reviews, and it seems like everyone has a problem with Elvis stealing black culture, which isn't a new opinion. It's a terrible opinion, but I'll explain later why. But I had a question. Why does everyone have a problem with Elvis stealing black music? Especially since he wasn't even the first person who did it. Frank Sinatra came before him. There were other white jazz crooners like Frank Sinatra running around. So Elvis wasn't even the first person to steal from black culture. And the thing is, Elvis gets crap from stealing from black culture, while people love Frank Sinatra, they love Adele, they love Amy Winehouse, Sam Smith, all the other people who steal from black culture. It makes no sense. They always single out Elvis Presley. I really don't understand why. Like, why doesn't Adele and Sam Smith and Amy Winehouse get like the same hatred? I mean, they pretty much just steal from Chaka Khan and Aretha Franklin, right? So that's a question that I have. I don't understand why it's always Elvis that gets singled out. People love Frank Sinatra. People love Jerry Lee Lewis, even though he stole Little Richard's entire style. But it seems like with Elvis, there's always like this. Oh, he stole from black culture. He's racist. He's oppressive. Even when I'm with my girlfriend, sometimes I used to play the What I Say Elvis Presley cover. He covered Ray Charles, and my girlfriend would always just tell me to turn it off and just listen to the Ray Charles original version instead. But so basically, the problem I have is with Elvis Presley. This is gonna be a controversial opinion, but it's not his fault that he stole from black culture. Now, what does that mean? What I mean by that is that if you watch the Elvis Presley movie, you can see that he was inspired by like blues, jazz players, B.B. King, gospel music, and he was pretty much just taking that and running with it. Now, if Elvis was black and he grew up in the church or whatever, and he just took it like that, like what I guess like what James Brown did, like James Brown grew up in the church, he pretty much just took the church style, put some funky guitars on it, and then, boom, funk. But if Elvis was black and he had like the same childhood where you like went to like the black church and listened to black music, then no one had a problem with it. The problem is it's because he's white. So it's kind of like a reverse racism thing. Now, and the thing is, I forgot to mention this. I'm not going to say black artists, but a lot of artists back then would cover each other. So let's say Thelonious Monk, he had the Around Midnight song. For the jazz people, the jazz fans, they know what I'm talking about. Around Midnight, one of his most famous records. Sarah Vaughan came around, she covered it. A bunch of people covered that song. I can't really think of anything. Grant Green covered it too. So a lot of people covered Around Midnight. Wes Montgomery covered it. That's 3 people. So they covered it. So if Thelonious Monk had Around Midnight and Elvis Presley did a cover of Around Midnight, then it would be a cultural appropriation. But that makes no sense. The only difference is that it's a white man covering it. But when a black person covers it, it's okay. But if a white person covers it, they can't cover it. Now, in the movie, they had this one scene where Little Richard was playing Tutti Frutti, right? And then I think it was B.B. King who said this. He's like, hey, if you record that song, you'll make a whole lot of money than Little Richard over there. And it's kind of funny because Elvis actually did cover a bunch of Little Richard songs. So it's not, the thing is, a lot of people have covered Little Richard's song. Bruno Mars has covered Little Richard. Otis Redding has covered Little Richard. I think even James Brown has covered Little Richard. So a lot of people have covered Little Richard, black people, and excluding Bruno Mars. Black people have covered Little Richard. But when a white person covers Little Richard, it's a problem. And like I said, this is only a thing for Elvis Presley. No one has a problem with Frank Sinatra covering Billie Holiday or Sarah Vaughan or whatever. No one has a problem with James Brown covering old classics. It's a problem with this specific white person. No one has a problem with Amy Winehouse covering Round Midnight or Lullaby of Birdland or what's that Marvin Gaye song she covered? It escapes me at this moment. She did a what was it? Ain't No Mountain High. Like she She sampled that song and used it on her Black album. Black to I can't I don't remember the name. Something to Black. Back to Black. That's what it is. I was thinking the AC/DC song. She all right. She took the Marvin Gaye song. She sampled it for her Back to Black album, and no one had a problem with it. Adele, she sampled the jazz piano player Errol Garner, and no one has a problem with it. But when Elvis Presley covers something or takes influence from black culture, everyone loses their mind. It makes no sense. That's what I'm trying to say. So I don't understand why Eminem doesn't get hate for rapping, even though he's white. I don't understand why Van Morrison doesn't get hate, even though he likes to sing soul and jazz music. I don't understand why Amy Winehouse doesn't get hate. I don't understand why Adele does. Like, if you have a problem with Elvis Presley stealing from black culture, there are dozens of other white artists who have stolen from black culture just as much as Elvis has. Like I said, Van Morrison, you have Frank Sinatra, you have Jerry Lee Lewis, you have a bunch of people. Rock and roll, the Beatles took the Isley Brothers song, and no one cares. So I don't understand why this cultural appropriation thing just happens to be with Elvis Presley. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's my question. If anyone can answer why only Elvis Presley gets hate for covering and showing love to black music, I would love to hear it. Other than that, peace.